Good morning, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. Today is the 23rd of April, and we are in a constitutional crisis. So this morning, I did a big, long video outside on this beautiful day, finally getting some beautiful days in a row here in southeastern Massachusetts, and my phone died in the middle of it. So it was long because I was describing what's going on in the sky, and I thought perhaps it might be a better idea just to show you from inside the office. So let's get, I want to specifically talk about what's happening today and a little bit about what's coming. For a full sort of perspective on this, the most important things that are happening now will sort of come to a culmination of sorts on Saturday. So if you'd like to join me and Ona on Mystic Sisters Live, we're going to have Jen Lin this week. A perfect timing for Jen Lin because the shit is hitting the fan, guys. The shit is hitting the fan. Okay. So let me share something. Let me share my screen with you. My computer, I just like turned on the computer and it's very laggy this morning, which of course, it's not just the computer. It's not just the computer. So let us, now you're going to see a lot of things on this particular chart because I'm including the asteroids and I'm including some of the less known planetary bodies such as Eris. But let me do this instead of talking about it. Let me do it. Okay. So this chart is actually a real-time chart. This is right now as I'm doing this. It is 8:23 in the morning here on the East Coast. And if you notice this giant um, square in the middle here, this is the thing. This is a fixed square. And what's it made up of? But the sun in Taurus, Pluto in Aquarius, Mars in Leo, and over here, this is the Earth. Okay, the Earth is always opposite the sun, so there's always a tension, right, between the Earth and the sun. And right next to that is something called Black Moon Lilith. Black Moon Lilith is an energy of the pissed off feminine. Lilith was the first feminine, I guess, deity in the Garden of Eden, but she refused to lay beneath Adam. She refused to be subordinate to the masculine. She was willing to stand side by side, but she was not willing to be subordinate. So for her insubordination to God, she was kicked out of Eden. Eve was brought in more compliant, more willing to lay beneath the man. And she was cast out and made the mother of demons. Um, she is a raging energy of the people who were uh, unfairly removed from a paradise. Are we seeing a theme here? Okay. Um, and so she's part of this grand square. When we see grand squares, there's a lot of tension. And when they're fixed, something has to break. Something has to break. Now, the major aspect today is, as you can see, the Sun and Pluto are very close to their exact square. This is what we would consider a first quarter crisis and action square. We feel the need to take an action in order to survive. The relationship between Pluto and the Sun is the illumination of the world soul's intent. Okay? So, um, this is not just an American problem necessarily, but because we are or were the leader of the free world, and we're not so free, are we? But when we were the leader of the free world, and you might say, well, we gave that up, and I might say that was stolen from us. Okay, so that's what I would say. But this square creates abuse of power, but also insubordination. So those are the words today. insubordination, and abuse of power. And as we sit here, the Supreme Court, the supreme ruling legal minds, which we can discuss that at another time, um, said you cannot send somebody to El Salvador without due process. Um, and the Trump administration is refusing to abide by that. So we are indeed in a constitutional crisis. Now, I do want to point out that Pluto and Mars are opposing each other right now, but it's not exact. It becomes exact on Saturday. And this is part of the uh, Pluto Mars synodic cycle. It's a 2-year cycle. It began at the conjunction of Mars and Pluto, and that occurred at the first degree of Aquarius, Sabian symbol, an old Adobe mission in California. Lasting values, building structures that will go past the time, and things that we can build upon. The first degree of Aquarius in the Aquarian age, and we're at a crisis point now. So things are going to happen. If you happen to have any planets around 3, 4, 5 degrees of the fixed signs, you are being hit by this pretty hard. So be aware of that. So we have the square here. We also have a mystical rectangle. That's this blue line, dotted blue line, dotted blue line. This is an energy of sort of creating your own reality, right? It's an ability to create our own reality. So we have that going on at the same time that we have this square. So we're almost living in two worlds. Now the square, because we're dealing with Pluto, I think is more of a larger cycle. It's a larger uh, cycle that perhaps we don't have the influence. Where we do have the influence, I believe, is here. Now it's connecting Uranus, which is making a trine to the South Node, sextiling. This is Juno. As I said, I brought in some planets that you don't usually see. She's an asteroid. She's an asteroid about relating, a relationship asteroid. She's in Scorpio, a relationship sign, about our shared values. And then up here, we have Saturn and the North Node and Venus. All of this in a giant conjunction with Uranus, the South Node, um, and Juno. This is an opportunity for us to work together to create the world that we want to see, with the backdrop of this evolutionary process that we have some influence in, but not as much as we have with this square. So I think that, how do we make it through this rather challenging time? One of the things I said in my very long video this morning that got cut off because my phone died was, if we step back in fear, if we acquiesce out of fear of something that hasn't actually happened yet, we lose. If we are courageous and are in our hearts and we connect with others on the things that are common to us, our common needs, our common wants, our common dreams. What kind of world do we want to create? Is this the world that we want to see? Because this is the world we're in right now. I would say no. And I am watching where you can, because here, well, at least in America, things are, what is that word? Things are served up on a platter a little bit. It's like, well, we'll tell them this, we won't tell them this, we'll tell them this, we won't tell them that. Well, that's, media. That's me. Media is the message, right? But we also have citizen journalists and people out there saying, hello, wait a minute, let's go. So, Heather Cox, listening to somebody like Heather Cox Richardson, or Mark Elias, or Brian Taylor Cohen, or secular talk, or I mean, we could just you have to do this little dibble dabble dibble and try to avoid the sensationalist stuff to kind of get a good democracy now. Of course, is a great way to really understand what's going on. Zateo with Mehdi Hassan, another great thing. So we need to get our information where we can, as far as what's really going on. But we know our own hearts, and our heart is our most powerful ally in this. Fear is a lower vibrational state that prevents us from moving into our heart. We're fearful of others. We're fearful of people who don't agree with us. We're fearful of people who have a different skin color or have a different language or have a different religion. That puts us in these fear bubbles, and that's when we can get squashed like a bug. When we open up to each other on the things that are common to us, and we exude love and compassion, especially for those who have the least amount of power, then we are united in love and we can conquer. Love conquers all. It's really true, guys. So don't be afraid. You have friends. You have friends here. We have a whole network of people who do the astrology and the readings and the more metaphysical, but there are all kinds of groups. We're all looking for the ways through this time. There are many avenues of moving through this time. We will do it. In fact, many months ago, I said, and it came out of my mouth, and I'm like, we're already there. We're already on the other side of this. We're already in the light. We're just going through this period of darkness before everything opens up to us, right? And how do you navigate through the darkness? You navigate by looking at the stars. You don't have to be an astrologer. The stars is the light within us, within each one of our hearts. We are in a 9-year, guys. That is the hermit. The hermit holds up the lantern of his love, the lantern of her wisdom, of their experience. I have been here. I will show you the way through. So lend a hand to those who are afraid. Love those who are not. I mean, love everybody, but connect with those who are not. We are going to make it through this time, guys. Do not be afraid. Be in love. And if you're terrified and you're like, I don't know how to be in love. How can I do that? Just spend your time doing something that opens your heart, whether it's watching your children or your grandchildren, walking your dog, or uh, working in a soup kitchen, making phone calls. You can do it. Put up a piece of your day for that. I do this every morning in an attempt to show people that there's a bigger picture, that we can't work, we have to stop sort of like walking around like this, but we need to open our awareness. And we're going to make it through this, guys. I'm telling you. You can, well, I don't know if you want to take anything to the bank, but I have faith. And sometimes that's all we have. But then things turn around almost miraculously. I love you guys. Take care. Mystic Sisters on Saturday, simulcast on this channel and Ona's channel, so you can decide which channel you want to watch it from, with our special guest star of Petty Boots fame, Jenlyn. I'll see you. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you then. I put a video out on the Pope, uh, and us losing such a beautiful soul, um, and yeah, so that's what's going on. Oh, and for my members, you got your gyroscopes, but I will be opening those up to everybody else this week, a little later this week. So you keep your eyeballs peeled for your gyroscopes for May. All right, I love you guys. Take care. Namaste.